Hey, amazing only child moms. I'm FOA Comment, your part time working mom friend who loves Yahweh, family, and fun. Welcome to the family of one where we share joys and adventures of raising an only child. Expect relatable stories, parenting laughs, and faith filled tips. Let's make small family life enjoyable. Woo! Hi, and welcome back. Yes, it's your friend, and today's topic is back to school. Now, why do I choose to talk about back to school? Because that's where I'm currently at. In the States, we had a summer break. In summer break, I think it was about for 2 months and a half. Though I think it was about 2 months. See, that's how you know it's a long summer break when you're not sure how many months it was. But for us, we tried something different. We had last year when Olivia had her summer break, she was in second grade. So we had, I went on the website childcare.com and we had a sitter. I like to call her babysitter, but Olivia said, "It's not babysitting, mum." I was like, okay, then a nanny, someone to look after you during the day. And then we had her grandparents, and then she went to friends. So during that time, she got to do new things. And it was really interesting. I learned then because when I didn't, I, I didn't realize how much, even though she had gone to friends' house to play, just trying new things from her perspective as an only child. It was interesting to see because when we were looking for someone to, you know, look after her while we were both at work, she was we made her part of the decision process. So she got to stay, she got to be in the interviews, she wrote down her question, and that was a good thing. I mean, in that way she can decide if she liked that person or not. We ended up getting a college student, and she was amazing, and she had babysat for experience for many years. And so, just for example, when she came, we wanted her to, and she was able to drive, go and do things like the park, go to the zoo, go for walks. And we didn't pay her. I said, don't worry about cleaning the house and that, just really focusing on Olivia and just doing different activities and different experiences with her. And I just wanted her to have a great summer. And so she was really nice. But when she came over and it was time to go, we had her, I think, for like 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times a week. The first day, Jeremy, he was able to work from home, which was good. So, and I know not many people are able to, they have that option, but we have an option where my husband is able to 5 days out, 1 day out of the week, he's able to work from home. And so that helped Olivia to feel more comfortable. But as like the other days when he had to go into work, she was a bit, she was a bit nervous. And she wasn't sure about, oh my goodness, mum, and which was, I was like, okay, you liked her, and you're staying at home. And then I wondered, like, had she had another sibling, it would have been okay. But I know I asked some other mums, and I guess it just depends on your child, because another mum, her daughter is an only child, and they're like, "Oh, she's fine, she'll go to anyone's home. You can drop her off for the first time." And she's just met them and she's fine. So I guess it's just the personality of the child. So how we got around it, here's a good tip. If you're hiring a babysitter and your child is still needs more time to go and do things with the sitter, but they want you to stay, but you can't stay, you got to go and work. We ended up, my sister, she recommended, how about if you tell her to go and visit grandma with the sitter, which was such a great idea. I was like, oh yeah. So the days when my husband, he was not here, because at first she just said, I'll just stay home, stay home, stay home, but she didn't want to travel. Olivia didn't want to go anywhere. And we're like, why don't you want to go anywhere? I mean, you can go and get ice cream. You can go to the park. You can go to the zoo. I mean, but she's like, no, I feel more comfortable, Mom. I just don't know. I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't trust her to go outside. And she'll say, what if we get lost? Or and she said, what if she, has a boyfriend? And these are really good questions. I mean, she's telling me about her feelings. So I was telling my sister, she said, well, how about, because, we do, we trusted her and we checked her out and she was very good and everything. Excellent references and everything. So we decided, she's like, well, how about you can send her to the grandparents, which is only about 10 minutes away from us, or grandma can come over here. But you want her to go out so she feels more comfortable, a familiar place. And the sitter was really awesome. She goes, oh, yeah, to. I can drive her to grandma's and we can both stay there for a few hours. And it was such a good step and it was practical and it was comfortable for Olivia. And so that's a tip. If you're having to hire a sitter and your child is still nervous about going outside of the house, if you're able to send them both, your child and the sitter, to either visit a grandparent, either visit a friend that is your a close friend that they can feel comfortable with, I would do that. I would send them there. And that way, just starting that, doing small takes is very positive. It's a positive experience. And so that's, if you have another resource too, if you're asking, I would ask friends or family. It was good that I asked my sister and I said, hey, I just needed some. What do you recommend? So sending her to her grandparents, which really sparked, once she had a positive experience as she went there a few times with grandma and the babysitter, she felt more comfortable to venture out to different places. So she went to the library. After going to the library, they end up going to the ice cream store and then the local park. So by the end of the summer break, she was very, very, if she was very comfortable and she was okay to go to different places, which was great. And so, but this year for summer break, what we were so happy with, the place where we have our horse board and Olivia does her riding lessons, they provide childcare. So there are adults working. The owner lives. It's on her property, so her house is right there, and she has people, uh, trainers. Well, one of Olivia's trainers and people work on the barn. They come in early hours in the morning, and she has them, at the barn. And so in the mornings, not only does she have summer camps from 9 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're a child and you can be on the property longer. So we would take Olivia from 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and then when I finish work at 4 o'clock, we would sometimes pick her up at 5 or 6. And the great thing about this is, because it was part of our boarding fee, she had people, old adults, there with her all the time and other children. So she spent probably 99% of her time from Monday to Friday there. And it was so awesome for us because she's continuing learning from the trainers, and she's also learning about barn life, cleaning the horses, cleaning the stalls, and they're teaching her so many hands-on experiences about raising and looking after horses and what that what that looks like from a practical, from a practical ownership and responsibility. And because we had, before we moved our horse to this barn, we had her at a location closer to us. So she was about 10, 15 minutes from our house. And every morning we would, or three times a week, well, it's actually more, actually 3 times a week. Was it 3 times? Let's just say it was a lot of times going to the barn to do horse chores, and then we would go to work in the morning. And we did that for about 3 to 4 years, probably 3 years. Was it three? It felt long, honestly. I think 3 to 4 years, going to the barn, doing work, and making sure, because there was like three other horses there as well. So if you're wanting a horse, well, our process was where I found a local place, a horse farm that were looking for volunteers. Well, actually, I asked the owner, "Oh, do you have a volunteer sign up sheet?" And I didn't know anything about horses, but I could clean. I said I could clean the office, I could clean the bathrooms, and that way Olivia could, be by the horses. There was a gate, and you could just stand outside the gate and just see the horses when she was a toddler. So I did that for good 3 months. I went there every day with Olivia as she was a toddler, and we would go on the weekends, and I would just clean the office, wipe down the walls. I didn't clean the stores. I didn't need to do that. Someone else did that. I just cleaned the bathrooms all that time and everything else. And then from there, as Olivia was getting older, she wanted to start riding a horse. And then I looked around, and then I found a local trainer, and then I asked her. So then, you take riding lessons, and then from there, from lessons, I think it was about a year into it, she ended up the owner asked us if we wanted to lease a horse. And so from riding lessons, just showing up and riding the horse, and then you go home. From leasing, and now we had the responsibility of paying certain amounts towards the lease cost, for the horse. So we would pay for the food. I think we paid like the farrier, like half of it, and just some of the hay, like that. I don't know if we went halves, but there was some extra costs. And the benefit was if she wanted to ride the horse anytime, and we can come and see her on the property anytime within the open hours because it was on someone else's barn. So we did that. And we did that for another year. And that was really good because we had more hands on about learning to clean the stalls. And I think when we did the leasing, we were required to come up one day out of the week and learn how to take care of the other horses during their feeding time. So, for example, it would be like 7 o'clock in the morning. We would have to go, and there's three other horses. So, you bring all the horses in to the stall to feed them, give them grain, and we learn how to do that and give them hay. And then once we did that, we turn them out. We take them back out to the paddock. So it was only one day a week, and we did that for a year. And I think we did other times as well because people weren't feeling well. They asked if we could help out if someone else was sick. So we did that for a year. And then after a year, the owner, she said, "Hey, I'm looking at selling. Would you like to buy the horse that you're leasing?" I tell you, why am I going, Well, here's the thing. Because I didn't know anything about horses, and I'm still learning too. I didn't know if it was this horse, the love for horses was just like, like I like swimming, I like my shoes, I like food, I like ice cream, but I'll change my flavor. I didn't know if it was like that, but and I was wondering, but I started talking to a lot of people who really love horses. And they're like, oh, once your daughter loves horses, I tell you, you're stuck with it forever. And I was like, what do you mean by stuck with it? You can get unstuck, right? Because it's like anything. Sometimes you just change. Well, we're still into this. So we end up buying the horse, and her name is Lola. And she's a Wallara, which is a half Arabian and half Welsh. I think she has more Arabian because she's a pony, but she's got a lot of zoomies. She's got a lot of spunk in her. I tell you what. And so we end up buying her, and Olivia, I think she was like 5 years old when we purchased the horse, and now she's 8. And I tell you, leasing and owning a horse is that's another level. I think it was really good for me just learning the different steps and responsibility. If you are listening and you're like, ooh, yeah, I was so green. Like all the horses looked the same to me. Like I'm like, that's a brown horse, and Libby goes, it's not brown, it's bay. And I one time I got confused. I mean, I had the horse, we purchased horse, and I think after within a year, maybe leasing the horse or something. I don't know. There's one time, and there was a quarter horse in our Wallara, a pony, and I honestly thought they looked the same. And clearly now I can see they are not the same. They are not even the same height. But if you put like 4 horses out there and they're all brown, my husband and daughter could say, "Oh yeah, I can see the difference." And I'm like, "Which one's our horse again? Which one is it?" Like, and they're like, "You don't know which one's Lola?" And I'm like, "Look, they all have 4 legs, and they all look very hungry, and they all want to come in." So I think they just all look the same. And it took me a while, and it probably honestly took me like 2 years to know which one is our horse. So that is it. But now I can clearly say I know which one is our pony because she's a princess, and the princess as well that's riding her. Oh my goodness. But then my husband would say I'm a princess as well. It's okay because I love being a princess. Wait, did I just say that? Anyhow. So yeah, that was a good step. Why am I on this topic? I don't know. Maybe because, okay. Oh, because I was talking about summer. Right. Summer break this year. So she ended up staying at the barn, which was amazing. So now that we have a routine next year, once again during summer break, she'll go back to the barn, and now we've got into a routine of where she's going to go. And so if you're in that season where and you're in the United States and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not a stay at home mom. I work, full time or part time, and I got to go out there and I need to find a sitter for my child. For me, before Olivia went to the barn, I started early. I mean, I had friends who had multiple children, and they're like, we don't think about it till like really 2 weeks or a week before the school is out. And I'm already on it like Donkey Kong. By February, I'm like, okay, where's she gonna go? April, I'm serious. I'm booking my sitters because in May, really in February, I start planning the schedule. Who can I ask? Making sure that she's going to places, that she's doing things. Because by May, that's when school is out, and then they go back in August. So, oh, May, June, July, August. Yeah, about 3 months, 2.5 months, or 3 for some schools. So if you are in that season, or you're going to be in that season, like this year, you're listening to the podcast, you're like, okay, next year I got to start looking. I would I would look at care.com. And what I did with care.com, I how did I come across that website? I was just like asking people around, or I think maybe it was on Google. But what worked for us is that I asked for a Zoom call. I said, can I send you a Zoom link? That way we can meet you online and you can see us. And that way, Olivia could see them as well and ask questions. And so she felt comfortable, that at least she gets to see the person who may be looking after her during the summer and as well. And then I invited my grandparents, like if any of you want to jump on during this call, or and then I asked the sit as well if you feel comfortable, any of your family members, because me, you're gonna be part of our family during that summer break, and I want to make sure that everybody knows who you are and you're with our child and everybody feels comfortable. And also right now, so this season, we also got her a watch, and I really should tell you what it is. It has like a phone on it because a friend of mine, she has multiple children, but her daughter, she was saying, "Oh, I was thinking of giving her my phone, so if she needed to call me, that would be she's able to call me straight away, even though the owner and all the trainers have our cell phone number. So anytime our child feels like they need to reach out to a parent or they need a call, they can just ask anyone. But it's just an extra comfort. So we ended up going a different route. They do call us and text us, but we gave Olivia a watch, and it has like she can call, she can text us, we can track her where she is. And it's really good because I think there was one time there was a storm and I was at work, and it's an hour away, the barn where she goes for her riding lessons and where we board Lola. It's an hour. So it was really good. She was like, "Mom, there's a storm coming. Come pick me up." Oh, an hour away. I mean, I made it there. No, it was fine. The storm had passed, but she felt like that extra hug that she could talk to me during the storm, and then I could be with her, knowing that even though she was with the other trainers and they're all safe, and she's with the kids, she felt like, okay, Mum's coming. Everything's gonna be all right, and everything was all right. So that's something. Now we're in that season where if she goes to places, she will have her watch on and she'll call us and text us. And the texting is a lot. Like she just speaks into it, and then I get it as a text. So it dings a lot. Sometimes I got to put it on silent because at work it'll be going bing, 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 bing. But it's funny because when I sent her a message, she's like, "Mom, I'm at the barn and it's, not a good time right now." I was like, "Excuse me." You were just like, ding, ding, ding. I love you. What are you doing? I love you. And I'm thinking, oh, she must be on her lunch break because she's taking pictures and I'm getting all this notification. It is hilarious. So, as your child is growing up, you're going to use different ways to stay connected. Now, her watch, she cannot go online. It's just purely just the call and send messages. And it's really cool. I really should send a link of what type of watch is it. But so far, and we pay a subscription, we enjoy it. And if she doesn't answer the phone, like if we call them and we ring for so long, it will show us not only the location, but it will bring up like the camera so we can literally see where she's at as another security way of making sure where is our child. So that's it. I just wanted to give you two tips about, and it's so different because goodness, she's 8 years old. She's grade 3. What does that mean? She's just growing up. And so I hope that for those who are in the United States that had summer break, I hope you had a great summer break and you're able to do new things and new experiences. For us, this was new because she got to stay at the barn, and that's the place where she wants to be. She'd rather be at the barn with the horses, with the trainers, learning and growing and just, being with her pony. But yeah, so if there's another website that you can recommend, please, reach out, let us know because you might have a better option. Like you might know a website or you may know a different way that could benefit others, where to find awesome people to babysit your child. I just want to give a shout out to my listener who listened to the last episode from United Kingdom. The city is Birmingham. Birmingham. I just want to say thank you very much for listening to the last episode. I really appreciate that. And also, just want to remind you, mums, you are the best mum for your child. You're doing the best you can with the time that is given, with the resources you have. And I just want to continue to encourage you to take care of yourself, to say nice things to yourself. Yeah, say nice things to yourself and take the time that whatever that looks like for you to celebrate your wins. I mean, you are the best mom for your family. You're the best wife for your husband. I mean, I tell myself I am doing the best I can where I'm at work. And yes, there's some days where I could do better, honestly, but I am doing the best after I have a good nap. Once I have a good nap, I am good to go. Thank you for listening to the Family of One Child podcast. I absolutely appreciate it. Please send me a text, send me an email, let me know that you're enjoying this podcast. And next week, I have a surprise. I am bringing in my sister. So I'm going to be, her and I are just going to be chatting and it's going to be fun. And I'm glad you all will finally get to meet her. Oh, actually, here on the podcast. Take care. Meet you in the next episode. Bye.